If everybody could begin making their way to a seat, we're about to get started. So, good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the commemoration of a man so near and dear to many of us, Brother Khalid Raheem. Our hope is that in the next few hours, we collectively fill this room with the spirits of celebration, love, and pay homage to an individual who poured his soul into the liberation of poor and working class people throughout our country. With respect to the man and his loved ones, please take heed to any and all instruction provided by this gathering's orchestrators and our host, the Community Empowerment Association. And of course, thank you for being here. Next up, we're going to have Brother Rashad Birdsong, who was so gracious enough to allow us to use this space to speak for a moment.
Assalamu alaikum. We want to welcome everyone from out of town to Pittsburgh and from folks in town, the Homewood Community Empowerment Association. I always say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had people cross one another's paths, understand one another's heart. And definitely when you look around here, a lot of us have traveled together, broke bread together, and crossed one another's path. I'll get a chance to talk a little bit more about our brother Khalid later on, because as most of y'all know, me and Khalid go way back, along with so many other people. But we want to thank everybody for coming out today. And I'm looking around the room, and a lot of y'all folks I haven't seen in years. But let me just say, this is history in this room. Look around. Don't take this for granted. Most of us in this here room today helped change the city and help change the country. And we got to continue to push that legacy of Brother Khalid and some of us in this here room, and pass that legacy down to young people coming up under us. So I'll get back with that a little later in the program. Thank you.
Thank you again, Brother Birdsong. So we're going to lighten the mood up a little bit, and I want everybody to keep in mind that although we're honoring my father, who just recently passed on Valentine's Day, this is a celebration of his life and his life's work. So we're going to start off with some trivia. And we also brought some little keepsakes for you all to take home. So if you get the answer correct, you'll receive one. Please just raise your hand and I'll call them. So first one. What was Brother Khalid's birth middle name? What was Brother Khalid's birth middle name? You don't know the answer, Lila. Lila's my daughter. What was Brother Khalid? Family, what was Brother Khalid's birth middle name? Say that one more time. Malcolm? Did you say Malcolm? Very close. Very close. Begins, no, Amirah. Michael is correct. Keep your hand up. Good job. Y'all can clap. It's a celebration. Next up, what is the name of the high school he attended, and what is the most famous basketball player to ever attend that school? Overbrook is correct. Will Chamberlain is correct. Good job. Next up, What is his favorite R&B group? Tahirah, you can't answer. What is his favorite R&B group? Say it again. Earth, Wind, and Fire before them. That's correct. Temptations, I'm sorry. We don't have two mics, do we? Who's got the one? Okay. Temptations was correct. What was the significance of the year 1981, specifically for Brother Khalid? What was the significance of the year 1981? Go ahead, brother. He was introduced to the Islamic community? Great guess. That is not the correct answer. You're headed in the right direction. Absolutely not, Amirah. My sisters are going to keep trying to answer questions. Yeah. The question was, can you repeat it? What was the significant, or what is the significance of the year 1981 for Brother Khalid Raheem? That is correct. That is the year he was released from prison. Good job. How many books did Brother Khalid author? 4 books. Good job. 4 books. Right here, brother, right here. And then right here. Next up. What was Brother Khalid's best sport? Think about this. Think about this one. And what sport did he think he could play? Oh, we got all types of hands on that one. I'm not sure who was first. I'm gonna go with you, Miss Zena. Basketball was the sport that what? Was his best sport or the sport that he thought he could play? That's the one he thought he could play, for sure. What was his best sport? Anybody know that? You got it? The young lady right here. No. We black. No, I'm sorry. You said football? Football, no. Boxing is definitely correct. If y'all didn't know, he boxed. Right here. Brother right here, with the mask. Okay, next up. What is Brother Khalid's favorite food? This might be a little tricky. It's not a dinner food. You got it, brother. Pizza? No, not pizza. Watermelon is a great guess. Breakfast is not a breakfast food or a dinner food. Grit is not a breakfast food. Sister in the back. Bean pie is a great guess. That's a great guess. You deserve a trinket for that one. But no. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, all the grandkids, what y'all think the answer is? It's not a breakfast food, it's not a dinner food, it's not a lunch food. We have some here today, and it has to stay in a very cold place. Ice cream is correct. Ice cream. Ice cream. Nobody. Okay, here's a tough one, but this shows who's really been on the deen. So what does Khalid mean in Arabic? There's a lot of Muslims in here. Sister Jamila. Eternal. Yes, eternal, everlasting. Good job. All right, easy one. What city was Brother Khalid born in? Philadelphia. That's right. Miss Lisa? Oh. And if you know online, you know, if they got the answer online, yeah, we'll mail you a pencil. Next up, another easy one. What political party did Brother Khalid create? Saw the Sister Jamila. Say that again. I heard you. NAIP, New African Independence Party. Good job. Okay. Who is Brother Khalid's, or what is Brother Khalid's favorite basketball team? 76ers is correct. Yes, 76ers is correct. All right, only 4 more left. What's his favorite song? What's going on? Good guess. Pop, I'm not even gonna repeat that one. I'm black and I'm proud of you. Good guess. So, okay. I can't hear you. Ain't no stopping us now. No, I'll give you a hint. So, who was Brother Khalid's favorite R&B group? So, what's the only song we can say? My Girl. There you go. Okay, this is a tough one. I didn't find this one out. I'm 44. I think I found this one out when I was about 40. What famous athlete's father did Brother Khalid grow up in the same neighborhood with? So we know he was from Philly. You got it. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. He grew up with Joe Jellybean Bryant. All right, 2 more. So this is a tough one. White shirt. Who is responsible for assisting Brother Khalid's transition into Islam? Yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, the gentleman's name is Brother Gill. Brother Gill. All right, last one up. I knew this one as a boy. What was Brother Khalid's nickname as a child? Bird is correct. Bird with a Y. Bird. All right, good job, y'all. Round of applause for yourself. All right, so if you all don't mind, can you please stand up and we're going to make a circle in the middle of the floor and do libation.
We gotta be tight, right? So it looks like it's coming together. Looks like it's gonna happen. We'll go to the middle. We'll see it together. Okay. Okay. We can close the circle here. We can close it. All right. Brother. Yeah, that's you. Okay. Beautiful. All right.
Okay, peace everybody. Y'all gonna talk back to me at all here? Hey, peace. Okay. Tough crowd. So I'm gonna do libation. Just to help us get started, libation is just one of the ways of our ancestors to honor those who came before us and try to get us going off on a good foot, and something that is done by lots of different cultures. And of course, even when we say I'll pour out a little liquor as a form of libation, so it's not even saying that hasn't been brought to this country here. So we're just going to begin. And if you could just start to think about any ancestors you'd like to call forward. So there'll be a part for us to call ancestors into this space. So maybe just kind of have some thought about that. People who have fought for our national liberation, that could be your direct family, that could be people that have influenced you, and then we'll go from there. So before we begin, if I could have, let's try this. Everybody who's over 60, you can raise your hand. Everyone who's over 70. Anyone over 80? Anyone over 85? Okay, Tim, that's it. So you can hear Tim and oh shucks. I'm gonna ask you, Tim. Where? Over 80 right here? 80 over 85? Yes. Could I have your permission to begin? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, appreciate that. So, I'm just going to do a couple of words in Yoruba, and then I'm going to translate the rest of it in English. So, only tutu, or not tutu, delay tutu, ashe tutu. And that's just cool water, to cool the road, to cool our heads, to cool the space. Okay? We salute the creator, the energy that is both in this room, that's all over the earth, that is over all the multiple galaxies. We salute that energy, whether we call that Jehovah or Allah or Olodumare, we salute. We salute that all of our mothers and fathers with whom, without whom we would not even be able to gather in this space, we salute them as well. Can we say Ojuba, which means we salute? We salute the water, the earth. We know that without any of those entities, we could not also be here. So we'll just say Mojuba. We call and we ask for the memory of all those who brought us here to this space today, those who have struggled for our liberation, those who raised us in our homes, those who we know gave us the example that we walk with, as Brother Rashad said earlier. It's a very unique group, and none of us would have got here if there were people who hadn't given us examples to get here. So if you could just think about who those people are, who brought you into this room today, and call their names.
Shona Sharif.
Ashe.
Ashe.
She Sundiata.
Ashe.
Sister Couture.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Don Brown.
Ashe.
Vigo.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
Reverend Fred Hammond.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
Bowie Hayden.
Ashe. 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 Ashe.
Brother Uridanine.
Ashe.
Nate Smith.
Ashe. Ashe.
Yvonne Jamil.
Ashe. Ashe.
Brother Turhan.
Ashe. Ashe.
Afeni Shakur.
Ashe. 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 Ashe.
Kwame Torre.
Ashe.
Brother Adinga.
Ashe. 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 You can say Ashe too. Ashe.
Rob Penny.
Ashe. Ashe.
George Gibbs.
Ashe.
Yep. Jen Henry.
Ashe. Ashe.
Charles Smith.
Ashe. Okay. So those are all the ancestors that we carry with us, not only in our mind, but for many of us in our blood as well. And so we say, what do you like it? Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe?
Ashe.
And we say Ashe with O at the end of it, okay? Ashe, O. Ashe, thank you.
Thank you. All right, and again, that was Brother Justin Lang handling the libations. Thank you again, Brother Lang. Next, we're gonna have Brother Luke Bond come and read some poetry for us. Brother Luke Bond.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace, blessings, and what's going on, what's going down, what's up. Hope everybody's feeling well. I can say a lot more, but I'm gonna say what I say in this poem. Just know that those photos, I know a lot about the history of a lot of these photos here. Who was in it and what have you. I'm sitting here tripping, just watching those photos in the back. So I'm gonna read this poem. It's for our brother, for my political sheikh, my political teacher, Khalid Raheem. Real super life hero, in the mist with the fist. We were reminded what a warrior feels like. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, let me do it like this. Real super life hero, in the mist with a fist. We were reminded of what a warrior feels like, reminded of the current of change and the maker of change brings. Waves of dissension against oppression, voices of power then reason, the warrior of African seasons. Real super life hero, in the mist with the fist, whose superpower was love of us and bringing verbal ether to those who oppress people, redeeming and revealing, student soldier oriented, a teacher constantly evolving into his own revolution with solutions in causes and effects realities, who grew from a panther cub to an urban lion king in a defined reality. Real super life hero. Wasn't Superman, wasn't Batman, Aquaman, Green Lantern. He was my superhero. Real super life hero. Standing on the ground, standing up loud, 10 toes down. Words that with that sound, you know that sound he would make. Tuh, brother. You know, brother. Words in that sound, debating and calculating, always on the front line, ready with lines to spit fire. He was from Philly with a feel of politics, scheming on the tricks of those who set policy, well-read and could speak for hours from the top of his head. Real super life hero in the mist with the fist. So 70s cool, but anytime he was ahead of his time. No fool with galactic intelligence and universal understanding. My man be culturally courageous, you see. Supreme, culturally courageous, supreme. Ya Raheem, send spiritual energy and light to brother Khalid Raheem. I mean.
Thank you, Brother Lukman. Next, we're going to have Brother Dante come up and present a little something from his association.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Hamid Khalid, formerly known as Dante. Raheem and I were in the Black Panther Party in Philadelphia at the same time. Raheem would always say that I brought him to the Black Panther Party along with Mumia Abu Jamal. So I just want to read something from the Black Panther Party committee up in New York regarding this tapestry. The Arabic is Allah, which means Allah is great. For those that can't read the bottom of it, it says the Black Panther Party, long live the revolutionary spirit of our comrade. And as all of you know, Raheem was a comrade. Raheem put the work in the community every day and every night. It says regarding that tapestry, long live the revolutionary spirit of our comrades. Our life can be thought of as a tapestry with all of our relationships and experiences woven together, which is us. The image of the tapestry is woven with 6 individual colors: green, blue, red, gold, black, and white. When we are young, we are like the green thread, learning as we go. Later, the blue sky fills our lives. In our prime, we progress and grow like the red thread, and then we enter our golden years. In the end, the darkness gives way to the light during the final part of our journey. So I'm asking each and every one of you not to let the light that Raheem lit go out. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you again, Brother Dante. So next up, I'm going to read a little bit about Brother Khalid's life. This is, if you want to follow along, this is also in, everybody should have received some of these at their table. Khalid Raheem, born on March 22nd, 1953, as Bruce Michael Clark in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, passed away peacefully on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2026, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was a cherished father, son, and friend whose legacy will endure through the many lives he touched. Khalid was the beloved son of Mamie Lou Clark and Denise Braxton. He leaves behind a loving family that includes his children, Jamal Raheem. Actually, for the children or the family members whose names I called, can you please raise your hand? So my name is Jamal. Diondre Jones. Aisha Raheem. I think Aisha's downstairs with the kids. Latifa Raheem. all the way in the back corner. Amirah Raheem. And the youngest, Tahirah Raheem. You can raise your hand, girl. Khalid also shared his life with extended family, including siblings Ronald Braxton, Samuel Braxton, Charles Braxton, Arelya Braxton, Rosezina Braxton, Yvette Myers, Denise Myers, Todd Dunbar, Renee Johnson, James Myers, Elijah Myers, Robert Lee Myers, Doris Myers, Willie Myers, and Jerry Myers, all whose relationships he valued deeply. Those were his brothers and sisters, just in case you all didn't catch that. The impact Khalid Raheem had on those around him was undeniable. He was known for his warm spirit and unwavering support for his loved ones, always ready to lend a helping hand or provide words of encouragement. Khalid's commitment to family and community was evident, and he dedicated his life to supporting the aspirations and needs of those he cared about, and especially those of the Black community. Khalid Raheem served as a community activist and author based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who demonstrated a profound commitment to radical Black liberation. His activism began in early 1970 when he joined the Philadelphia chapter of the Black Panther Party. During his incarceration, Brother Khalid Raheem embraced Islam, which fortified his dedication to personal growth and social justice. Upon release, he worked with various Pittsburgh organizations as a counselor, program director, youth worker, and consultant. His affiliations include the National Black Independent Political Party, Pittsburghers Against Apartheid, Community Mosque Incorporated, the African American United Front, the Million Man March, Local Organizing Committee, the October 22nd Coalition, Citizens for Police Accountability, Jericho Movement, and of course, the Gang Peace Council of Western Pennsylvania. In April of '93, Brother Raheem attended the National Urban Peace and Justice Summit in Kansas City, Missouri, aiming to address youth violence. This led to the formation of the Gang Peace Council of Western Pennsylvania and the National Council for Urban Peace and Justice, where he served as president and CEO. In 2019, Raheem initiated the New African Workers Union to combat employment discrimination and marginalization of Black workers, focusing on organizing across various sectors, including construction, retail, and clerical work. He also founded the New African Independence Party in 2012 and the National Black Radical Political Congress in 2021. Brother Khalid practiced his teachings of the Black Panther Party and was open to working with various groups of people and organizations from all walks of life to the best of his ability. As we remember Khalid, let us carry forward the light he brought into our lives. May his spirit of kindness and love continue to inspire us all. Throughout his career, Brother Khalid Raheem has been a steadfast advocate for quality, education, affirmative action, reparations, freedom for all United States political prisoners, as well as abroad, living wage initiatives, and criminal justice reform, significantly impacting Pittsburgh's social and political landscape. He is survived by thousands of comrades, friends, and loved ones, ensuring his legacy, his lasting impact will forever reign on. Y'all can clap it up for that one. All right, we're going to have Brother Birdsong return to the microphone for a moment.
Just want to share a little bit about my relationship with Khalid. We met in 1992. I myself just was released from being incarcerated in the Western Penitentiary. And we ran into one another through at the mosque, Bookman. And he was an activist and I was an activist. I come to find out that he was a Panther also. I'm a former Panther also, my brother, Seattle, up under Captain Aaron Dixon. Yeah. So we had a lot in common, and it was the emergence of the juvenile gang problem here in Pittsburgh that no one else would, recognize that was going on. So there was a group of us Muslim activists initially that started organizing with young folks throughout the city. And during that time, we came under the earshot of a group in Garfield that paid for us to go to Kansas City, Missouri, which was the first gang summit that they had in this country. And you had over 500 delegates from all over the country. So we stayed together for at least 5 years. We had about 10 to 15 youth summits throughout the country. And most of those folks that was there was activists, former incarcerated folks. You had Native Americans, Chicanos, Puerto Ricans. So truly it looked like Comrade Fred Hampton spoke about the rainbow. Who said it first? Not just exactly, but history. So we traveled, we met a lot of brothers, we met a lot of sisters, and we came back here and we decided to organize the summit here in, I think, the 1993 or 94. That was on the north side of Juliana Street. You remember that? Yeah, okay, that's some history, huh? And I remember, of course, there's not enough time today to tell all the stories. 10 years worth of stories that we went through. I went to some of the ones that I highlight. But anyway, at the summit in the north side, I was responsible for going to pick up some gang members running from Garfield, the Bloods. And one of the young men that he played national football up there, I forgot what it was, Kevin, help me out. Who? Marlon Barlow, yeah. That's before, of course, he got drafted. So he's in the back of the van. We had a Pyru brother from LA, because we have been in LA also, and there were some rough brothers out there. So Barlow was saying he wasn't going to have no peace, he wasn't going to do this, he wasn't going to do that. And the brother ripped his shirt open. He had 10 of his friends that was tattooed on his chest that had died from violence. So this was a lot of young guys started thinking about, plus we took to Chicago, where IO at, right here. We took a lot to Chicago, Cabrini Green, scared them to death. We was coming into Chicago through vans and they was throwing up gang signs, going over to Jesse Jackson's Operation Bread Basket. We took them to a party in Cabrini Green, and there the party is the whole building was partying. So this is something new for these guys to be exposed to. We used to take a lot of young men to Cincinnati, Black Man Think Tank. Who remember that? The Black Man Think Tank, Cincinnati. We used to take these young ones. We used to have backyard, cookouts because they couldn't, get together one night throughout the city. So I'm saying we took this here all over the country, me and this brother right here. Not to mention the consent decree. You remember the consent decree? Due to the killing of Johnny Gamage, you remember that? So we organized the consent decree. We organized the first citizen review board in this city. We also organized around the workforce that they talked about because of the construction that was going on in this city. So it's a lot of work that we did that a lot of folks didn't even realize that was being done. So when you begin to think about this here, brother, Khalid Raheem, we need to think about the work I mean, he touched so many different people. We touched so many different people here in this city and throughout the country. I mean, brothers and sisters knew us throughout the country. So everywhere we went at, we stopped at a masjid and a community center. You know, this here building right here, this organization was the birth out of what we did. All those years we was traveling, we came back here to Pittsburgh and we said we need to set up shop, similar to the pamphlets, my brother, survival programs. So when you look at, and one last thing real quick is, in 1993, there wasn't a lot of Black organizations that were providing services for our community. So we organized, you know, some brothers, some sisters to talk to Fitzgerald at the time. So for the first time in history, you had these 4 or 5 organizations that was created in this here city, and 3 of them was ex-offenders, myself, Khalid Raheem, and also brother Squirt, you know, Squirt is gone. So those was 3. So what that showed us is when you organize and you mobilize the people, the power we get to understand that it's in the hands of the people. So again, you know, there's a lot of brothers over the years we met, brothers that did 20, 30 years in the penitentiary, that still about doing certain type of work. So this isn't just us coming together just to celebrate a life. It's to make sure that the life we celebrate, that we remember to implement it, that we got to pass it down to our young people, pass it on to our children. Who would have thought 60 years ago they would be talking about the Black Panther Party? And I'll be real honest with you, once you're a Panther, you always a Panther. We was the baddest ass brothers and sisters that ever came out of the end of history. The baddest. If you don't believe us, look us up. So we carried that. Colin carried that in the spirit. I carried it in my spirit. And a lot of cubs, which is the children of Panthers, is passed in their spirit. So once again, you know, there's a lot more that I can say about this brother. But I think that we all have been touched by him. We all have our stories. And I want to leave this thought with you that, you know, when someone may transition physically, he might be gone. But after Proverbs, as long as the remembrance and that spirit of that person be in your heart, they're going to live with us forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Birdsong. So we're going to make a slight modification because I see everybody's faces and y'all look hungry. So we're going to take a 15 to 20 minute intermission. Y'all are going to get your foods, come sit back down, and then we'll do the speaking while we eat. I mean, does that work? Okay. So we're going to do a 15, 20 minute intermission starting now. Folk are ready for y'all in the back. Sit back down, and then we'll have the folk online that wanted to speak about Brother Raheem speaking.
That's you on the picture. That's you on the picture, right? Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, I haven't seen that boy in so long. And that was you. Yeah.
We can hear you on Zoom.
We hear you.
may have stepped away.
But Lisa, she was asking, could you let her in on her phone? Lisa. Lisa. Yeah, he was asking, could you let her in on her phone?
We all want.
She said she's in the waiting room. Yeah, there she is right there. Ready?
All right, everybody, thank you for your patience. We're going to get started again with the program. So what we're going to do in the best interest of time is have all of those who've been patiently waiting without fried chicken and pasta salad to go ahead and speak first. And then those in the room, like myself, who would like to speak, will speak afterwards. All right? So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first speaker online.
Black Power, Kofi Tahirah, have the privilege, the honor, and the responsibility of being the national chairman of the National Black United Front, coming to you from Houston, Texas. We want to extend a clenched black fist of solidarity and condolences to the biological family, the theological family, and the ideological family of our brother Khalid Raheem. He has been a supporter of the National Black United Front for a number of decades, coming to our national conventions in Washington, D.C., as well as New York City. About 4 or 5 years ago, he joined the National Black United Front when we hosted a convention in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have been the benefactors of his many years of activism and organizing. One of the things that the brother was saying on one of our last meetings that we should be looking out for and remain aware of was the birthright citizenship legal cases that are going through the United States Supreme Court. So we keep that in mind. Surely the National Black United Front will continue to honor this good ancestor. In October, we will be having our 29th annual Sankofa Caravan to the Ancestors from Houston, Texas to Galveston, Texas, to the shores in Galveston. And he will be one of our venerated ancestors this year. In the National Black United Front, and all of our movement people know, we say forward ever, and the proper response is backwards never.
I'm unmuted now, Sister Lisa. You can hear me now? First of all, as my wife is here also, Inez Barrett, and we just wanted to come forth to say that there are so many people we've met in the struggle over the years, but very few have the intensity of seriousness and dedication as Brother Khalid. We had the opportunity, we're from New York City, by the way. Big Apple never gave us a fight, we're still fighting. But Khalid, we met him around the National Black Radical Political Congress. And him and Brother Nnamdi Lumumba brought us together with the whole group of us, and we're very, very pleased with having that happen. But Brother Khalid and I have a very special relationship. Man, my brother loves to argue, man. He just loves debates. So every time I have a phone call, when we finish all the logistical stuff, we got to throw down for some debates. But it was all in comradeship. It was all in advancing our people. And so we were looking forward to him coming to New York to show him some of the accomplishments that we have made. And so we're gonna, best way to keep Brother Khalid's spirit alive is to continue to work, is to make a commitment to continue the work. So I say to Brother Khalid, and I greet you in the Islamic expression that you're so familiar and in love with, the greetings of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum. And I say to you, my brother, rest in peace for a job well done. And before you take your celestial rest, stop by Malcolm X's house and have a little chat with Malcolm. And then don't forget to stop by Asada Shakur and other prisoners of war that lost their lives, some of them in the confines of the pigs of the power structures, jails. But stop by, and then after you finish all of stopping by all the revolutionaries' celestial homes, you take your rest for a job well done. And that's
Peace, brothers and sisters. We're so pleased to be able to be a part of this gathering, to pay tribute to our great brother Khalid, the work that he has done over the years. We are all having feelings of sadness and sharing our expressions of condolences with everyone who's here, but in particular with the family.
yes.
Because it's the family that so often made those sacrifices so that their loved ones can be out and about, and Brother Khalid was certainly out and about, and talking about and giving examples of alternatives to this system, not just talking about it, but creating those institutions that he presented as alternatives to the oppressive capitalist system that we're in. So we're so pleased to know that we have those institutions that he shared and left with us, that we will continue to do the work that he's made and say that everything will live on because of the contributions that he's made in all of those fields that he saw that we outwork to give an alternative and to give hope to our people. Thank you.
And for those of you in his hometown, make those local no good politicians name a street after him. Put a street sign up and name a street after him so that all that are growing up will say, who is that? And his name and his spirit and his work will live forever. Peace and blessings.
Yes, can you hear me?
All right, greetings, everyone, and my name is Ashaki Benta, and I'm national organizer for the National Black Liberation Movement National Unity Initiative. And Brother Khalid was a part of our work and effort here. I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland, and just wanted to offer condolences and also express the spirit of joy for the life that Brother Khalid has led and the work that he has done over the years. I only met him a few years ago before the Ukraine war broke out, and we were working together to come up with a position on that war, and Brother Khalid was a part of those discussions. And you really got to see his excellent intellect and his knowledge of things, and then the kind of writings that he offered. And he then invited me to participate with the National Black Radical Political Convention, it was called initially. And I was able to work with the organizing committee the first few years of that, and was very, very, glad to be a part of it. As Sister Inez said, that, you're building something that hadn't been there before. And so that was the effort to, build some kind of independent self-determination, institutions for our people. So it's been a real honor to work with Brother Khalid, and again, we celebrate his life and his contributions, and it's important to recognize the lives of all of the freedom fighters that have come before us and that are that joined the ancestors in the fight for the liberation of our people. And Brother Khalid was, that kind of freedom fighter for us. So really appreciate the gathering there and everyone here. Thank you so much.
Greetings and hotep everybody. My name is Mickey Dean. I'm a member of the National Black United Front, Kansas City chapter, and also a central committee member of the National Black Radical Political Congress. And I'm speaking today on behalf of the National Black Radical Political Congress. To put it simply, Brother Khalid was the heart and soul of the National Black Radical Political Congress. He was its founder and first chairperson. He was the driving force behind the growth and development of the NBRPC. Founded in 2021, the NBRPC was developed in the spirit and political traditions of those forces who attended the 1972 National Black Political Convention in Gary, Indiana, with hopes and dreams of unifying Black America around the agenda of radical and revolutionary politics and pursuing Black liberation. Brother Khalid saw NBRPC as a continuation of that process. Brother Khalid felt strongly that Black people should not continue to have our political energy confined within the Democratic Party. Under his leadership, the NBRPC represented a sharp critique of the current Black leadership class and the dominance of neo-colonial politics within the Black community. He knew that it was very important to provide the Black community with other perspectives and choices in advancing Black political power and radical politics. And finally, on a personal level, Brother Khalid was one of the most committed and dedicated brothers that I have known. He was a man of integrity and a real, true revolutionary. I developed a tremendous amount of love and respect for that brother over the years. I will miss him. May his soul and spirit rest forever among our revered ancestors. Asante Sana.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, power to the people, free the land. We are outside of the Black Panther Museum in Oakland. We're having our screening here. We even have the red, black, and green flag outside to symbolize a memorial for those that are coming in. We're thankful to our security that's here in Oakland. Wanted you all to see that those that are here at the museum are not only watching and giving homage to Raheem, Khalid Raheem, but also we invite folks to know that he is just like one of the ones that have already fallen, that have started this movement. We are grateful for my generation to know that Raheem helped us with the fair wage, which is what we're doing locally right now, $30 an hour as workers, as a Black woman who's had children and has had to work in restaurants as well as Amazon. And we are also doing nationally the reparations, but Khalid was the one that supported our youth program, got reparations locally through our National Liberation Movement Network. So thank you for having us, and we're grateful to continue the legacy. Free the land. Sorry about that. Oakland, California, you are right now in the Museum of the Huey Newton Foundation, which is the Black Panther Museum. For those of you that haven't come, you'll see the pictures, and we will be doing other memorials, but we hope more so you all will come out and learn about the legacy of where it all began, Oakland. And Brother Khalid was the one that even supported those things that are bringing the intergenerational work that we're doing, especially with workers and reparations. Oakland, California.
Yes, greatly appreciated. Peace, love, and fortitude, sisters, brothers, comrades. Grateful and honored to be able to speak on Brother Khalid briefly, who I met in the context of the work that Sister Ashaki was just raising, the National Black Liberation Movement Unity Coalition, and just very, very grateful to have met and really got to know this brother, and the terms that are being used that I keep hearing are what resonates so strongly to me in this moment and throughout, as far as his commitment, as far as his seriousness and dedication. And I would just add to that, that his realness, as an individual and as a comrade. And I was grateful to get to meet him in the flesh out in Indiana at the National Black Radical Organizers Conference, after building with him, remotely over so many Zooms and et cetera for some years. And, really just being able to get grounded in who he was as a human being, beyond, the serious and dedicated brother whose works I knew of and had heard of, for years. And it's so instructive to me. I would not have imagined, that we would be giving this tribute to him at this time, from then. And as has been mentioned, Panther veterans in particular, it's just a very special group of people that we really, it's just another reminder of so many that we just have to cherish these minutes that we have with one another, individually, inter-organizationally, as we move into this new period of further and deeper entrenched repression out here. So I truly salute Brother Khalid and his family across the board, and we're just grateful for that commitment and all of those works over so many years. And thankfully, he's left a legacy and his writings, as was mentioned. I believe there was 4 books, and he was somebody who was always ready to directly speak to his positions on any number of questions, which is something that I salute as well. That energy, that real grounded commitment to this work, and to a sturdy belief in this work that he just exuded and was so clear. So I will leave it there and thank you once again.
Thank you, Sister Lisa.
Hello? Yes, I just want to relay my feelings and message to the people in the community. I did not know Brother Khalid very well, but I'm a daughter of one of the leading people who led Pittsburgh in many rallies here at Charles Kendall. And he used to march with him, and I recognized him some years ago when I came back. And Khalid is outstanding. I just want to say thank you to his family for allowing him to be a part of the community. I really appreciate him. And here's some words I had to say. I have reiterated on the online, but I'll say it loudly. He was kingly. He had a royal, majestic feel about him. Khalid was also heroic, brave, bold, and always displaying courage. He also was authentic. What you see is what you get. He labored. He's a hard worker. He stayed on a mission. He stayed on course. He stayed on focus when he was out in the streets, helping someone, being in marches, standing for the community. And also, he was dedicated. And I love that about him. He was dedicated to the cause because he loved us, the community. So I want to say salute and thank you to the family. Thank you to the community. I encourage everyone to keep on, continue to pick up the baton and carry on. Peace.
Okay, greetings everybody, again. Peace, thanks, appreciate that. Okay, so I'm speaking, my name is Justin Lang, and I'm speaking in this capacity as a member of the Black Socialist Formation, and we have a statement that we would like to share. So the first part of it, is that many of us know Brother Khalid individually over a lot of years. So going back as far as Mr. Redwood, working with him when he was on the, oh, I'm sorry, over here, okay. I'm on the inside, at the wall at Western Penitentiary, but then going, as was said about the National Gang Peace Council, I can still see Brother Khalid at 3 in the morning getting on the bus to go to the Million Man March, and then going back with him, 30 some years later. And then in recent time, working with the National Black Liberation Movement Unity Initiative, National Black Radical Political Congress, so influenced us as individuals, but then also as we became the Black Socialist Formation, we actually had a chance to do some work with him. We went to the National Black Radical Organizing Conference this past year and came back and did a debriefing on it. That was Brother Khalid's idea, that you don't just go to an event and just it was an event, but rather you need to go to the event, come back, and then debrief. Like, did it give us what we thought it should have? What are our critiques? What are our strengths? So he was training even us, just saying, listen, you don't just go to conferences, we need to go, and even if it's just a small group of us, we need to actually process what happened there politically. This always happens when I have things on my phone. It's like it goes off, and it's almost useless. So it's like, anyway. So the second piece I wanted to share, though, was that I think one of the things that I didn't see till much later was that the name of the party was the New African Independence Party. I don't know if Pittsburgh really has had much understanding of the New African movement, and that actually it wasn't just another term for Black. He might write New African / Black, but behind New African was a whole idea of an internal colony, of a Black Belt thesis of 5 states that Black people could have, a whole idea of being a nation. So it seems to me there's a whole lot of work that could still be done to pick up what Brother Khalid left. Because I don't know that we actually took up that Brother Khalid in many ways represented the really clearest example of the revolutionary Black tradition in Pittsburgh. We have a long, strong cultural nationalist tradition here, but the revolutionary nationalist tradition, I don't know, is as visible to us. But its ideas, I think, are really important, and you could see it in Brother Khalid's work on reparations. You could see it in his work on the Allegheny County Review Board. So many elements of it, and this is I'll say this in closing, that I think gratefully he did leave us 5 books. And I think one of the things that Khalid has talked about as an organizer and an activist, but actually if you read these books, you see he's a serious political theorist. And even the style in which he's writing these books so that anybody can pick them up. He's not trying to demonstrate how many sources he has. The books are so accessible, but they're actually summarizing all the key elements. If you wanted to start an organization, you could go right to that piece and look at all of the key elements that are there. The internal colony, reparations. He's going over, then he's also analyzing, a lot of that analysis is on Pittsburgh. He's looking at all the various political tendencies that are here and offering critiques on all of them. And you can see in many ways Brother Khalid was clearly some of the more advanced political people here. And then working, but you wouldn't see it in his arrogance. He was always welcoming. He may have told you things multiple times, but he still always had a kind smile, which is the other thing I would say I think doesn't get talked about. But Khalid had a real gentleness in my opinion. You know, he might know a lot of things, but he was also forgiving and kind. So we just wanted to say on behalf of the Black Socialist Formation that he sets an example for us that we can learn for, and we say much respect. Thank you.
So at this time, anybody, family, friends, comrades, who would like to come up and say a couple words, we would love to have you. I'll just call on you, try to keep it to 3 minutes or less, because obviously, you know, we are on a little bit of a time constraint.
My name is Mel Packer. I knew Khalid through the work of the Boycott, Domestic Sanction Movement, 5051, various housing justice struggles. Through the years, we came to share many picket lines, events, rallies, etc. I woke this morning thinking about Khalid, and I sat down before I did my usual routine and just wrote some things down real quick I want to share with you. The late great Cuban revolutionary Che Guevara once said, and I paraphrase, at the risk of seeming ridiculous, I think the true revolutionary is guided by feelings of great love for humanity. I was never a close friend of Khalid's, having more of a political relationship than personal, but I'm sure that Khalid's life and his work were guided by the same feelings of love for humanity. When I heard of Khalid's death, the word warrior came to my mind as an apt description of Khalid and his life. He was a warrior against injustice, a warrior standing for human rights, a warrior who understood and personally experienced the brutality of the state, its repression and carceral institutions. He was a street warrior. He knew that humanity needed to be freed from the greedy claws of capitalism, of a system harming the world with its endless wars, of its racism demonstrated so cruelly from Palestine to Pittsburgh. Khalid was an unbending warrior. And despite the failure of many people to rise up in opposition to capitalism, he stood strong in his belief that we must do so, and that we would someday bring justice to the world. He told all of us we must not stop, we must not bend, we must not falter in the endless drive for a better world. And for that, we offer our thanks. Finally, a couple of nights ago, I heard Carsey Blanton, a young communist performer, wrote a song about continuing struggle, and I'll leave you and Khalid with a chorus that goes like this. 100 strong, 100 more, we throw our weight against the door. And even if we don't survive, we keep that little flame alive. So light a flame for Khalid, his flame of resistance, his flame of revolution, his flame of justice for humanity, and every day of your life, do the same. Light a flame, because without it, the water will never boil. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone, brothers, sisters, and comrades. My name is Sister Zori Kamaria. I'm representing the New African Independence Party. It was founded in 2012, launched in 2014, and in preparing myself to speak today, I thought, what should I speak about? And then coming after everyone that was before me, a lot has been said that I'm going to be repeating. I thought, should I talk about the party and it being a mass-based political party with a national platform on freedom, self-determination, reparations, and the complete dismantlement and abolishment of white supremacy? Or should I talk about it being a political party dedicated to the pursuit of social justice, human rights, and a self-group determination on behalf of Black and the New African people? Or should I talk about how dedicated, one more again, how dedicated Brother Khalid was with his vision and seeing it through what it is today? In discussing some of the accomplishments and activism Brother Khalid did under the New African Independence Party, which included community control of the police, fighting against police brutality and terror, People's Campaign for Reparations and Black self-determination, and also the New African Workers Union. Should I talk about Freedom Garden, Malcolm X Founders Day, Claim Malcolm X Day, Malcolm X Commemoration Project, NABIS Conference, which is the New African Black Unity and Solidarity Conference, or most importantly, electoral campaigns? As we stated earlier, he laid the footwork for all of us. But after all of that, we, with our self-determination selves, are still being marginalized. Well, Black Pittsburgh, the working class, and its poor whites, you are being marginalized with your Democratic and Republican selves. As I close, I want to stress the importance of political education and how Brother Khalid provided those classes every weekend in the community at our public libraries. If you know, you know. I want to stress some of the words that Brother Khalid left with us, one of it being a statement that everything is political. Everything is political. From when you get your trash picked up, everything. Our schools, everything is political, so I want you to remember that. On behalf of the party, I want to thank him. I want to thank him and his family for sharing him. I want to thank him for his countless hours, all the phone calls, all the emails that were sent, all the private conversations, his ideas, his ideals, his strength, his determination, his fierceness, and the love he had for our community. I want to tell him that he's done a job, and the job was done well. So well done, our good and faithful servant. Well done. All power to the people, and free the land.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sabrina Clark, and I stand here on behalf of a couple sisters in the fight, which is Nikki Jo Dawson, Renee Wilson, and Sister Tracy Jennings that couldn't be here today. First, I want to give my condolences to his family. And I've been at several events with Brother Khalid. I've watched him talk to the young people and encourage them with his stories. I've watched him ask countless times for people to join the New African Independent Party. But I wanted to play something that was one of the last public events we were at when he spoke at the Assata Shakur tribute. See if we can hear it.
Groups that were being vacuumed on a regular basis. In the Black Panther Party, for example, we had been attacked almost every other week, every month, and different chapters all around the country. Right? My chapter, my home chapter in Philly, we were made in August of 1970. I remember this like it was yesterday. And so that was the context. The Black Panther Party had a split. It was an ideological split, not just necessarily a geographical split, because there were comrades who sided with the East Coast who lived in California and other places, right? And then we had the activation of the BLA. But let me clarify something. Every member of the Black Panther Party was automatically a member of the Black Liberation Army. But every member of the Black Liberation Army was not a member of the Black Panther Party. The BLA was composed of members of the party, members of the Republican in Africa, guys who were from the street, guys who just came home from jail. Some guys were in jail, they were members of the BLA. So the BLA was a multi-faceted armed formation. The Black Panther Party was the nucleus, was the core, but every member of the BLA was not a member of the party. But every member of the party was automatically a member of the BLA. And that's something we were taught from the very moment that you joined the party, that you could not seriously pledge allegiance to any army but the Black Liberation Army, even if you were someone who had been drafted. Remember, the Vietnam War was going on in that period. If you had been drafted or if you had inadvertently out of ignorance volunteered, you could serve in the U.S. Armed Forces, but your true army was the BLA. So,
I'm going to pause that because that's a little bit of a long video. It's about 13 minutes, and you can actually go on YouTube and see it on Nikki Jo Dawson's page. She has a like a podcast that she does, and I just wanted to play this little. This one's just a couple minutes. Okay, that was shorter than I thought, but it was him talking to some young men at the event. Just want to say again, my condolences. You know, Brother Khalid, live on.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness there's no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you again with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. I'm student minister Victor Muhammad, and on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Muhammad's Mosque 22 here in Pittsburgh, we want to give our condolences and wish the best to soldiers of whose shoulders we stand on. We do not think of someone, as the Holy Quran says, who died in the way of Allah. Do not think of them as dead, for they are alive, but you perceive not. And our brother Khalid Raheem means the everlasting servant of mercy. And because of the cause that he picked up, He picked up the cause at the time J. Edgar Hoover declared war on Black America. I want to say that again. Brother Khalid picked up the banner at the time J. Edgar Hoover declared war on Black America, because he wanted to stop anyone who could electrify and unify the Black masses. And because Brother Khalid was a chief organizer, he went right in the face of white America and told them, we will organize as a people. We will stay together as a people. And with all of his intellectual prowess and know-how, we take national figures and we lose sight of these local figures who have great standing in our local communities and do all that Brother Khalid did. He was warm and welcoming me when I came here 13 years ago, and I felt like I was home with him and Brother Rashad, Brother Rick, Brother Stevens, all of you brothers whose shoulders we stand on, and he's passed the baton to now. We got to keep going. We got to keep growing. We got to keep organizing. The chief thing that Brother Khalid had for us was organization. If we do not continue to organize, we'll just continue to talk. So when he had the Gaines Summit, notice it was a Gaines Summit. It wasn't the end of games. We need to bring these young men back to the table and organize our children so we can stop these attacks on downtown and have all this corruption going on while everybody's trying to get a grant. We need to go ahead and bring our children back to the table, because at the end of the day, these are the children who live in a virtual world and they don't know how to interrelate or interact with people anymore. They just hit a reset button. Unfortunately, when that reset button is a gun, you can't bring that life back. So as a people, let us continue to organize, let us continue to strategize, and let us continue to lift the name of Khalid Abdul Raheem, the servant of mercy forever. Assalamu alaikum.
Good day, everyone. I'm Claire Cohen. My movement name, which I recently took, is Ajura, meaning daughter of the people. I've been a longtime activist in many causes in Pittsburgh. I met Brother Khalid shortly after I moved to Pittsburgh in 1984. At the time, I was doing advocacy, prison work, and work against police brutality, among other things. I say not lightly that Khalid Raheem was a great human being who deserves eternal recognition. He was a man of great principles and morals. He always fought the good fight with principle and integrity, and he never compromised himself for money or for grift. As I knew him personally, the two most important things in his life were the struggle and his family. He was a good father just as much as he was a good soldier for justice and liberation in the Black community. Perhaps the most profound gifts he gave to the world was his organizing to get rid of gang violence in Pittsburgh in the 1990s through the Gang Peace Council and the National Council for Urban Peace and Justice, and his organization of the new African Independence Party, which I hope will continue to live on and grow without him. Long live in heaven our fallen martyr and brother, Khalid Raheem. Aluta continua. Peace if you're willing to fight for it.
My name is Carl Raywood. I'm speaking for the Hill District Consensus Group. Khalid worked with the Hill District Consensus Group for a few years, 2013, 14, and 15. And what he did principally is he organized among high school students from different schools in Pittsburgh who were working to form Black student unions at their particular schools. And they worked and they did political education as part of what they did. And Khalid was in charge of the political education. Khalid took a delegation of high school students from Pittsburgh to Cleveland for the founding convening of the Movement for Black Lives in 2015. And he continued to work with young people in different ways, not just the Gang Peace Council, but also towards Black student unions and other things. In addition to my remarks there from the Hill District Consensus Group, Lamar Lee posted a very short message that I think is very appropriate on Facebook. Khalid Raheem, a humble giant in the war on youthful self-destruction, helped bring to Pittsburgh the National Gang Peace Council. I was blessed as the site for middle school age students as the principal of Gladstone School. He stepped into the gap made by bloodshed and violence with a message that pierced the darkness. Khalid Raheem lived like him.
I bring you greetings from Dr. Ron Daniels, the founder and chair of the Institute of the Black World 21st Century. I have the privilege of being the founding and chairman emeritus of the board of that organization. Brother Khalid, man, before you get political, you might learn in the ghetto that if you're outnumbered and you're in a fight, you look for a wall. Right? You put that wall behind you so you can keep all your enemies in front of you. I always felt that when we were organizing and any challenge that we confronted, that if Brother Khalid was there, it was like you had the wall beside you, behind you. You didn't worry. You felt that strength that was there. I had the privilege and honor of being involved with the African American United Front. He and I tried to model, me as a Christian brother, him as a Muslim brother, that whole dynamic in our community as how we could be brothers, how we could work together, how we could have a united front, and we could serve our community. We also co-chaired together the Million Man March Mobilization Committee, which is one of the most profound events of my life, and I'm sure he would say that too, if he were here. Let me just say that my relationship with Khalid was very personal at times. We would talk about what it meant to be a man, to be a Black man, to be a father, to be a husband, to be a righteous person, to be a person of integrity and courage. And he, to me, epitomized that. He was a role model for me. Khalid, the man, the brother, the father, the organizer, the leader, the soldier, the human being. I salute you. You will continue to always be an example to me. Long live the example of Khalid Raheem.
Good afternoon. My name is Vernon Lipscomb, and I would like to share a couple things about Brother Khalid. I met him in 1992. Brother Birdsong was on the set. I'm sorry. Okay. Brother Birdsong was on the set as well because violence was so bad. And it was a gathering to bring the community together to help stop some of this violence. And the organization, Parents Against Violence, was formed, and I was blessed enough to be one of the founding co-chairs. During that time, we made a visit to every church on the north side having community meetings. Khalid was our moderator, and we were proud to have him because he wasn't ashamed to say what was on his mind. But I heard a couple words when I was up here, some of them stuck. they count, such as determination. That was a key word, but legacy is another. Initially, when I came in, I wanted to offer the family condolences. But having given it further thought, I rescind that. I want to offer you congratulations of being part of his ancestry, him being your ancestor and standing up for the things that are right, for the peace, for the youth, and for the community. So I just want to give him a big hand for his accomplishments for our community.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to give my condolences to the family. Brother Khalid, guy, man, from New York was saying he loved to argue. Yes, he did. And me and him had, man, many high-spirited arguments around everything. It could be about, you know, the latest shooting on this side of town or the latest shooting in Chicago. It didn't matter, you know, because Khalid, man, was like international. He was like from coast to coast, if you knew him. Khalid, man, when me and my partner right there, we got together to put the community organization together, and we was looking for people to come help us out. And one of the first things that came up was like, where's Khalid at? We had to go find Khalid. And Khalid worked with us over the last 15 years to put together our organization, which is Northside Partnership Project. And this is one of the things that came out of Northside Partnership Project. Khalid was part of this too, because, you know, like when you use the term soldier, if you went to the dictionary, when it says soldier, it said Khalid Raheem. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's how dedicated he was to anything that he got involved in, you know? Peace and love, Khalid.
Thank you. Tim Stevens with Black Political Empowerment Project and Greater Pittsburgh Coalition Against Violence. Khalid and I go back decades, and that's good. Okay, good. Many of you remember the death of Johnny Gamage, October 12th, 1995. Well, we have a connection there. As Khalid led marches out in Brentwood, and I got out there, I was later leading marches in downtown Pittsburgh. In that movement, and it brought a lot of people together across the city of Pittsburgh. And it led to the first consent decree in the nation, operated by, or facilitated by the federal government. That's when the federal government wanted to find some justice. It led to the founding of the Citizen Police Review Board. It led to the Black and White Reunion. And at the Black and White Reunion Summit this past February 22nd, I think it was, I gave a special tribute to Khalid in my opening comments. And one of the things I said was, we need more Khalid Raheems. When you think of, am I right or wrong? If you agreed with Khalid or not, you knew he had an opinion. He would state it forcefully, and you knew he meant what he said. And what's going on in this country right now, we need more warriors, is the word that was just used. Am I right? We need more warriors. We cannot stop. And then November 3rd, I'm hoping that everybody in this room, the Black and brown people, the LGBTQ community, the young community, our white allies will begin to pulse at a level that we've never seen before, because our democracy is literally at stake. Literally at stake. My friend Will Anderson, who was here, he had to leave going out of town, but he wanted me to say that he is with the family. In the family, you have a hero that you can look up to for the rest of your lives, and we can as well. So Will wanted me to let you know that he wanted to stay, but he could not. But he is a supporter of Khalid and a fan of what he's done in this community and across the country. Our anti-violence work has been stimulated by the work of Khalid going back many decades, and that continues to this week when we had a peace summit with students, young students at Goodwill, and a couple weeks ago at the Urban Academy. So the tradition of fighting for justice, the fighting for the end of violence continues. And I wanted to be here today to salute one of our greatest leaders to come out of Pittsburgh ever, Khalid Raheem.
Peace and blessings, everyone. I want to begin by, my name is Joyce Maxwell. I had the opportunity to meet Baba Khalid in the past couple of years. I'm a member of the National Black Radical Political Congress National Secretary, and I met Baba Khalid in Baltimore when I joined that organization and have worked with him closely. So I am thankful to have met him and been mentored by him. I'm young enough to be his daughter. I'm thankful to have been mentored by him for the time that I had. I also want to extend my condolences and my deepest wish for peace and blessing in the lives of his family. I am here reading a letter from another member of the NBRPC. He is also a member of the NIIP. He could not be with us today, so I will read his letter. Brother Khalid was a giant of a man and freedom fighter. He will be sorely missed. He taught me how to be a strong new African man. He dedicated his life to freedom for new African people. He believed that the battle to free new African people had to be waged on the political level. In order to be successful in that arena, he was founder and chairman of the New African Independence Party, NAIP, which struggled to free the land for new African people. He was an excellent mentor to me in my role as the deputy chairman of the NAIP. He courageously fought for the freedom for new African people. I stand ready to fight for freedom for new Africans. All power to the people, free the land. Sincerely, Brian Francisco II, Deputy Chairman of the NAIP and member of the NBRPC. As well, we have Sister Pam Africa. She was supposed to travel in with myself and my husband, Jude, in the back of the room today, but unfortunately could not make it. And she wanted to extend a few words as well. So this is my mentor who raised me, since I'm also from Philly, but we drove from Jersey City. So this is Mama Pam Africa, Move Organization, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Pam. Let's see if this works. Can you hear me?
I'll speak loud. I was fortunate to work with Brother Khalid in Philadelphia when they had the convention here in Temple. And he's such a caring and loving person that he thought about dealing with all political prisoners. And, you know, he was a part of the group that brought Brother Max Stanford in, Brother out there, and to recognize him and the work that he has done. This is a brother that extends himself over the work that he's done around the Move organization, the work that he's done around Bonita is what I'm most familiar with. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out to the surroundings. So I'm just going to get off. I just want to be a part and raise my voice, you know, and salute to our warrior brother, Brother Khalid.
It's so good to see the family looking and feeling this occasion. I'm Sarah Jamila, representing the Wisdom Seekers of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I begin in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. We've gathered here today to recognize and remember their urban warrior brother, Khalid Raheem. There's an African proverb that says, as long as a person's name is called, he or she will be remembered. We recall his name and the powerful, positive attribute that it represents. Khalid and Raheem are attributes of the Creator, and Khalid incorporated these attributes of long-lasting everlastingness and compassion into his very being. His molecular energy remains with us. Perhaps one of us here today will incorporate that energy into our struggle for our people, for our time. I have known Khalid for about 40 years. I recall his passionate work, including gang control, reparations, political empowerment, New Panther Party, and there, and true to his attribute, Raheem, he loved his people and was known to have put his life in jeopardy for the safety and well-being of his people. I smile to myself as I admit you couldn't take Khalid Raheem everywhere. He was predictably unpredictable. It did not matter who the audience was, the location of the event, or the theme of the event. He managed, either by invitation or self-insertion, to talk about gang control, retribution, and reparations, effects of colonialism and enslavement, political empowerment, the Black Panther Party. And as I put my thoughts to paper, I want to conclude with some additions from the Wisdom Seekers. We are reminded that Kwame Nkrumah said, practice without thought is blind. Thoughts without practice is empty. Theory without practice is fruitless. Khalid, as one of the Wisdom Seekers reminds us, was a hardliner and a principled party member. Through study, practice, and discipline, wherever he attended, he was able to analyze events and situations through the lens of the party's practice and perspectives. May his good deeds be multiplied, his misdeeds few and forgiven, and may he be welcome as he comes to the path of the urban warrior ancestors. We salute Conrad Raheem Khalid.
I'm listening to everybody speak and you're taking my words away. I'm Celeste. I served as the treasurer with the Gang Peace Council. And that happened really quickly. We used to have a radio station that I listened to every morning. Chris Moore would make sure we knew what was going on in the city. It was the most fantastic thing. I don't know why we can't have that anymore, but through that radio station, I heard about a meeting. And at the time, my daughter was maybe 10 or 11 years old and going to a school in Barthel, I think. But gang activity was everywhere around us. We live in Wilkersburg and we all knew the colors we could wear and what we couldn't. And this was a meeting to discuss this. Well, weren't we there and early? That's rare for me to be early anywhere. And immediately I found my place. There was Brother Khalid, Brother Rashad, Richard Garland, just all of us were there. So many of us, and we kept coming back because we did care about the kids that we were losing in the street. And of course, we were living in fear for our own selves and our own children. But there was something that needed to be corrected in the city, and Brother Khalid spoke that. Brother Khalid gave me so much courage. I did so many things I never would have thought about. I was shot at one time. I was up on a pole putting a poster up about our coming conference over on the north side. And somebody shot at me. That took me off the pole, and I went home, but it was real. What we were going through was real. I don't know what it's like in the streets. I'm old now. I don't get out much, and I don't go into dangerous situations. But one really important thing that Khalid, he taught me so much. I remember for the summit, somehow someone let me know that there was a beer company that wanted to provide funds for our summit. And I brought that to Khalid. I thought that was great. It was a lot of money. I knew we needed money. We were going to be feeding people and, doing so many different things at different churches that we needed money. He said, absolutely not. Why? It's money. And it went back to who they were and what they really meant in our community. And I hadn't thought of that. There were so many things that I hadn't thought of that he brought just naturally. Didn't have to think about it. He was, Khalid was Khalid. He will always be a part of me and always be a part of the next generation, my daughter, who he mentored as well. And I'm so happy to see the family, to be with the family, and with all of you that I consider family. Thank you. Peace.
So we're going to have a couple more speakers, but just want to let y'all know we have dessert, so y'all didn't stay for nothing. The trivia question about his favorite food, if you know, is back there, along with some cookies. Help yourself as we wrap up the speaking portion, okay? And then we have a special treat. Won't tell you what it is yet. We have a special treat, so please stay if you can.
Thank you. My name is Kwame Scott. And Khalid was my partner, my OG, mentor, everything. I met Khalid when I was young. I think, Aisha, you might have been 3 or 4 when I met Khalid. And one of the things about Khalid was that, he's always furious, of course. Everyone knows that. Loves to talk. Everyone knows that. Even when you agree with him, he will still debate you. And that's one of the funny things about Khalid. Brother Rashad mentioned a lot of things that he was a part of. And I was there with him with a lot of that stuff. And when he brought some of the things up, I had to remember, damn, I was there. Damn, I forgot about that. And in his book, his personal memoir, Dare to Struggle, Dare to Win, he puts it in some bullet points of the things he's done. But there's more context to it that he did not add, and that's Khalid being humble. But a lot of things he did, he was really ahead of his time. He really was. I know working with him was an interesting situation. Some of us, even some of the children, when they had summer jobs there, we would have a 10-minute agenda and be there for 60 minutes. I don't know how that happened, but we know it happened. And that was one of the funny things about working with Khalid. or not funny, but interesting. You know, he always made you step up your game. Even though you might have, hated it at the time and hearing all the stuff that came with it, he still made you step up your game. But also too is, he, with the National Council for Peace and Justice, he was revolutionary in some aspects. One of the things I want to read to you that they adopted when they formed the National Council was Visions for Our Future. These are the principles, that is, 5 principles. Visions for our future, political empowerment, economic development, social justice, and respect for women. This is 93-ish, 94-ish, 93, 95. Now, you don't hear that too much now in social justice groups or anything like that at all. But yeah, really ahead of his time. I'd like to recognize some of those people that were in the National Council in some way, fashion, or form. We have our Visions crew, which is our Rites of Passage and Mentoring program. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Who were in? Yes, we're still there. Yes, they've come out. They've grown up. Some of them got their own kids. And basically, yes, they were part of that, and they were our future. I'll just keep it like that. They're our future. And right now, they're looking to make another future. Correct. We also had some of the staff members. They had summer jobs. Diondre, which he had a unique position. Him and another person by the name of James Parker, I believe he's passed on. They would do the veto program, voters, education, training, organizing. Another part of the National Council that was ahead of its time. Go out and do voter registration and training. How old were you? 15 at the time, doing that. I mean, that was ahead of its time. We had Project Success, which was urban garden. Back then, not really fashionable, not in trend. Now it is. We have a property, I just drove by Lowell and Mayflower over there in Larmer, and there was one up there, can't remember which street it is. But basically we'd have hire youth, some of them that were quote unquote in the gangs, and have them maintain that garden and grow the food and give it out to the community. What else? Economic development, we were doing businesses, t-shirt businesses. So again, a lot of activity with the National Council. And like I said, I wish we were able to maintain it. But again, Khalid didn't stop there when it went down. He continued on. And that was one thing about Khalid. It didn't take long for him to regroup and do something else. And he's maintained a lot of organizations after that. So again, the example, we need to live by that. That's simple.
Hello, my name is Sylvia Steele. I just wanted to get up and share and tell the family I love them, and I'm glad they allowed me to be a part of them, because knowing Brother Khalid, I have learned a lot about community. I learned a lot about what's going on in the community and how to participate. We come to know Brother Khalid. I worked in the school district, and we were having the gang situations going on in the school. And a lot of the people that worked in the school didn't realize how much of what they were doing was the catalyst to some of the confusion and the fights and things that were going on, because we weren't aware. And so Mark Ridley, who happened to be here, was on the school board. have convinced the district to have a conference where he came in to educate what was going on with the kids in the different gangs in the different areas. And through that, I come to learn of him and then realize that he was working right in my neighborhood where I lived. Learned a lot, participated, was on the Urban Justice Gay Peace Council. We did the summit in Manchester, which was a great experience. But on a lighter note though, Brother Khalid had this charisma. When he spoke, you just kind of hung on to his words. And he was very knowledgeable. He did a lot of reading. He had a lot of information that was in that head, and he could just give it off. But then the way he just did, he just had this voice, and with the Philadelphia slang, and he had this swag that he had, and what causes you to be attentive with him. And I remember, and I know my sister probably don't want me to share this, but Shirley, my very close sister friend, we were leaving a meeting one day, and we were walking, and Brother Khalid called out to Shirley. But the way he did it, we both turned around. I thought my name was Shirley, because he just had that voice and that charisma. And I just on a lighter note, I just wanted to share that he was a beautiful person, and he is truly going to be missed. But I know a lot of his characteristics is going to reside in his children, and that they will continue to uphold his principles and things that they've learned. And we will do the same thing and hopefully pass on, because what he represents, we really need it today. We really need it today. Thanks.
All right, y'all. Come on, Bonnie. So, Brother Khalid's great grandchild wanted to speak. You ready, Simone? Too nervous? All right. You sure? Think about it. All right, y'all, as we wrap up, I wanted to read a letter that I wrote to my dad, so bear with me. There we are. Dad, communicating with you in this fashion at times still brings a shock to my system. The night before you unofficially passed, we joked at the end of the Super Bowl. You said, the Patriots are done. I said, great defense, average offense. You replied, the Bills, Texans, and yeah, even the Steelers would have been a better opponent. I stated, not the Steelers. And the last thing my father ever communicated to me was, stop hating. 12 hours later, you took your last unassisted breath, and I would soon get a phone call while sitting in my coworker's office that you had underwent cardiac arrest, and that the family should begin making their way to the hospital. As I reflected in the days and weeks ahead of our time together, in between all of the preparations, the conversations, and the tears, I was grateful that I had the opportunity to tell you that you're the most intelligent and knowledgeable person I've ever met face to face. What I don't recall ever sharing is how privileged I am to have been your son. You gave me an example of a man that very few men have emulated. In a world bountiful of evils, you clung to your principles like a warrior to his sword in battle, and swung your blade to protect those most vulnerable. In doing so, courageousness, humility, and fearlessness come to mind as I observed you for nearly 44 years of my life. I do, however, Dad, want you and everyone in this place to know, if you had any inclination to capitalize on the carnal interests of others like so many in this world do, we would be having this memorial service in a 5-star hotel ballroom downtown, or perhaps in the suburbs where members of your country club would be paying homage right now. There'd be professional caterers instead of my lovely sisters and family, serving food, a live band playing Motown's greatest hits, and a much more polished master of ceremony than yours truly. But rather, Dad, you took the road less traveled, the one full of chaos, threats, ridicule, and pain, all in an effort to stay down for the cause. I lost a piece of me on February 9th, 2026. No longer do I have the option to depend on the wisdom and understanding from a man whose values mirrored my own. From childhood to present day, I've heard the quote, "You act just like your father." And I'm certain that phrase over the years has meant different things to different people. But what I gleaned from it the most, in conjunction with my own analysis, is that number one, we have a natural inclination to call out things that are not fair. Number two, we love debating and arguing. And last, we are both very principled. Dad, I thank you for being a paradigm of what it means to be of the people, for the people, and not sell out your people. I have no doubt that your collective efforts have made me a better person and this world a more just place. You didn't get to see all of the transformation you hoped for your people, but you nurtured the seeds you nurtured the seeds planted by our ancestors in development of the changes to come. All right, I promised them I would do this. Woo. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come, Dad. Oh, yes, it will. Thank you. All right, so with that, you all, we're gonna have an audio selection. This is the special. Don't think that was a special part. We're gonna have a special selection from Brother Mamie and Jamal.
Khalid Raheem makes his transition. The name Khalid Raheem may not ring many bells, but to those who knew him, his life was one of lifelong struggle for the Black nation as a revolutionary, as a Muslim convert and as a prisoner deeply enmeshed within Pennsylvania's mass incarceration system. Raheem was also a skillful writer whose 2021 book, Panthers That Make Salad, recounts the struggles of former members of the Black Panther Party who struggled in prison across the state from the early 1970s to the mid-1980s. They faced repression, beatings, long-term lockdowns, and onerous sentences. Raheem typified the deep influence of Malcolm X upon Panther and other Black revolutionary groups who embraced Islam as he did. Raheem wrote of days of rebellion, resistance, of revolutionary resistance as a Panther and also a political prisoner at Holmesburg, at Graterford State Prison, Huntington State Prison, Weimart State Prison, and back to Graterford, known in the old days as the Farm. As he did time for robberies to bring resources to revolutionary movements, as he would say, he saw the emergence and expansion of what we now call mass incarceration. He was young and therefore receptive to the rebelliousness and passions of youth. Naturally, under prison's inherent repression, he rebelled and rebelled constantly. He got thrown into a hole, he got transferred to other prisons, and lastly, he was transferred to Westgate, a penitentiary in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There he met old heads from Holmesburg and Graterford. He continued to try to utilize his political teachings as a Panther and his spiritual teachings as a Muslim. He spent over a decade in the joint. He was released in 1984 and later settled in Pittsburgh, where he worked on peace initiatives among street gangs. He founded the New African Independence Party there. I didn't know him as Raheem, but I did know him as a member of the Black United Liberation Front in Philadelphia, the BULF, led by former Panther Captain Reggie Shaw. In fact, I met him at BULF headquarters on Columbia Avenue when he was known as Bird. He was as thin as a minute, with a youthful face and a laugh that bounced off the walls. That youthful face lives in memory. Khalid Raheem, revolutionary, writer, believer, and community organizer and activist, returns to the source with love, not fear. This is Mumia Abu Jamal. These
All right. I just want to, earlier you guys saw the slideshow, the photos that, been playing on the screen. And I just want to just thank everybody who said anything, so we can see it and just, I don't know, beyond our memory, the only actual thing we actually have as a reference are photos. It's odd now because we live in a digital day and we take photos all the time. And one of the things I noticed is that everybody was so focused on what was going on up here. I didn't see anybody snap a photo one time. So that's kind of different to what I'm used to seeing. We live in a digital age, so we snap photos all the time, but the ability to be able to go back and even grab the photos that we were able to grab for that period of time, I really, really thank everyone for sending photos, because we don't, how do you, the amount of work that this man did in his life, how do you capture that in an image? We were able to get some of it, but over the years, he's done so much work, and unfortunately, we have a few snapshots to represent it. And like I said, beyond the memory that we have in our mind, our photos are the closest thing we get to it. So I also want to advise anybody who hasn't got a chance to, I want to see the photos, so I want to see these images. So if you have anything, please send it. I think you can send it to the Facebook page. Load it, because I know there's still memories out there. I know there's still moments out there. So please, please send those things, because those are the things that we can, kind of look at, just to, remind us of the work that this man did in his life. This next piece is actually a video, and you'll see some of the same images, but his voice is the most important thing. And when I think about a person, we always tend to see our images, but with him, I hear his voice the most. I hear his voice, so I just want to, just remind everybody that it's what he represented and the things that he did, and the way he said it. It was his voice that really stuck out for me anyway. So yeah.
We want freedom. We want the power to determine the destiny of Black people. The Black Panther Party over 50, almost 60 years ago clearly understood that we had this relationship between freedom and power, that you couldn't be free if you didn't have power, and you couldn't have power if you didn't have freedom. We are a diverse group now. We were diverse when we were captured. We were more diverse now. We're intermixed, we're intermingled, we're diverse in terms of the gods that we worship, how we worship, where we come from. We are shaped and molded over centuries of oppression and struggle. So we just have to be oppressed with the water. We define freedom as the power to determine the destiny of our families, neighborhoods, and communities, the power to determine the form, type, and function of all the institutions that impact our lives. Racism is an attitude. We have a predisposition based on notions of racial superiority and inferiority. The only way you can effectively change this type of stuff is you have to go back into what? You got to change the structures, the systems, and the institutions. Because those are the things that give the power to people's personal dispositions. We have to be clear about how we define white supremacy. Because a lot of people got it all twisted and think it was one thing in the name. They describe it as racism. So people say, well, you don't fight against racism. I say, well, because what you're fighting against, okay, attitude, belief, behavior, predisposition. Major influence for us and the teachers of Marcus Garvey, the teachers of Malcolm X, the state, the Black Panther Party, and the Republican Africa. Capitalism is predicated on genocide and slavery. Genocide and slavery are the byproducts of capitalism. So when you study history, when we study the history of capitalist development, especially here within the West, you see clearly that as capitalism started to evolve and started to grow, it grew and it evolved off of the backs of the enslavement and genocide that was committed against people of color, especially folks of African descent. And mass incarceration itself is really like a political phenomenon. It's been used throughout the U.S. history. The role of women is the same as the role of men. Okay, we need brothers and sisters to step up and to be responsible. We need brothers and sisters to run for office. We need brothers and sisters to organize. We need brothers and sisters to teach. So we're saying down with the FOP. We want to create a national movement and mobilization to monitor and watch the FOP and make sure that they do justice. And if they claim to be a working class union, they need to act like a working class union founded in a working class city. Politics, we find politics as a struggle concerning the acquisition and distribution of power and resources. Politics is not just pushing the button and putting together. Politics is ultimately about who's going to get the power, who's going to control the
says. It's house and power will be distributed. That's what politics really is. So when people say, I don't deal with politics, but you ain't got to deal with politics. Politics deal with you. We have to fight now for proportional political representation. Proportional political representation with a judicial level. Political prisons, freedom for all political prisons. This goes in the Black Panther Party, Black Rose Army, wherever you go, movement and anti-prisoners from the allies and comrades, as well as politicized prisons. We call it the new constitution to reflect the changing demographics of today. We call it the new constitution to be written by regular people like us, as opposed to the constitution that was written and ratified in 1789 by predominantly slave masters. We have to do things that our ancestors before us and other people continue to do. We're enough for strategic alliances, for economic reasons, for trade reasons, for military reasons, for intelligence gathering reasons, real nation building. And so it requires a type of strategic thinking, long-term thinking.
Long live Khalid Raheem.
Long live Khalid Raheem.
Long live Khalid Raheem. Long live Khalid Raheem. Long live Khalid Raheem. Long live Khalid Raheem. Long live
So at this time, if my siblings could make their way up here, please. My siblings could make their way up here. Aisha, Diondre, Tahirah, Latifa, Amirah. Miss Lisa, don't try to leave out the door. Come on up here, Miss Lisa. Okay. Yeah. Did anybody want to say it? Did anybody want to say anything specific? Did they? Want to say anything? Good? Everybody good? Miss Lisa, you good? You want to say anything? On behalf of the family, we want to sincerely thank you all for being here right now. I personally want to thank each and every person up here right now. We have diligently been working on this for about 3 months now, every single week. And I want to thank again everyone here for coming and contributing, participating, sending your photos, the letters, the poetry, the resources, the prayers, the wishes, the concerns on Facebook. We read everything. But most important, right? Y'all know where I'm going. The work don't stop. Make sure that his legacy lives on through your actions. Through your actions. All power to the people.
Thank you.
All right, y'all.
Say hi.
I got my face
Say hi, everybody.
I got my face painted. I got my face painted.
Come on.
Man, I got my face. You can't even read. I got my face
I have some books at my house, but you mean like the ones that he wrote?
Like all his books that he wrote.
I don't think I have all of them. I got some at my house, for sure. I don't have all of them.
Why are you crying?
I want to say Amirah. Was that a like a piece of a documentary played before the clip?
I created it, and it sucked because we were trying to get it. The sound wasn't right on the TV. I was trying to connect it to this booth so that it sounded really muffled. The speakers on there sucked. So I was like, but no, I created it. I created it. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm mad that it didn't. The mix didn't hit right. I mean, that's me being critical, obviously.
But it